Hello everyone, my name is Harrison Denton, and today I will be talking about national parks, what they are, why they matter, and if we should put in the effort to continue to protect them. To start off, I want to share a quote that I feel really captures the spirit of this topic. A national park is not a playground, it's a sanctuary for nature and for humans who will accept nature on nature's own terms, by Michael Frome. This shows how the national parks aren't just pretty places, but are more important places where the human spirit can connect with nature in a true way. The question we're talking about today is, why do we have national parks and should we continue to have them? Now you might be asking, why this question? I've personally been to around a dozen national parks, and I've always really loved the outdoors, but lately there's been a lot of news coming up around funding issues with the national parks, and I've began to wonder if we're doing enough to protect these sacred places. Part 1. What are the national parks? To define them, the national parks are a nature park designated for conservation purposes because of unparalleled national, natural, historic, or cultural significance. Part 2. Where do the national parks come from? For origins, the first national park was Yellowstone, which was founded in 1872 by the then President Ulysses S. Grant. From then to now, we have added an additional 62 parks to the service, leading to a total of 63 national parks. Who's in charge of the national parks? Now, before 1916, multiple groups were in charge of the parks at different times, but mainly the Department of the Interior managed the parks, and the Department of War and the Department of Agriculture also helped play their own roles in maintaining the parks. In 1916, however, the National Park Service was created by Woodrow Wilson as a subsection of the Department of the Interior, and they have been fully in charge of the national parks ever since. Part 3. Should we continue to have national parks? The reasons to keep the parks. First, the main arguments are to keep the parks for their historic and educational significance, their ecological significance, and their cultural significance. For historic and educational significance, one significance is that many different civilizations used to live on these lands for hundreds of years, such as the Pueblo people who lived on the land that is now the Mesa Verde National Park. Additionally, some national parks are also protected because of significant battles in United States history that happened on the land, such as Gettysburg. Also, people can learn about United States histories and the histories of the people that precede the United States from things like the national parks, visitor centers, or the informational plaques that can be found in the parks. Ecological significance. For ecological significance, the parks help to nurse endangered species back to normal numbers and protect other species at risk of becoming endangered from becoming endangered, and this is done through their conservation efforts. Now, you also have beauty. Beauty is something to consider, as the parks help to maintain rare, one-of-a-kind spots such as Yellowstone's geysers, so that the public can continue to admire these locations without them actually being damaged. Cultural significance. They allow people to reconnect with important cultural sites for their religion or ancestry, among other things, and the parks can also help inspire people to lead to great creations of art, music, and writing. It is clear that these national parks help to protect all of these things so that the future generations can still enjoy them as we do today. Part 4. Challenges and successes. The main two challenges I faced were finding good resources to be able to get research from and being able to properly condense information into bite-sized amounts. Despite these challenges, however, I was successful as I was very proficient in figuring out all of the different ways that national parks can help preserve our country, and I found that my analysis on the different intricacies of the topic was very well put together. Part 5. Learnings. How will I use my learnings? First, I will continue to do volunteer work with things outdoors related, such as preservation, trail maintenance, and trash cleanups. Secondly, I will use the resources for education provided by the national parks to help educate others and myself about the nature, culture, and histories of these areas. Now that I've covered everything that I came to say, I just want to say thank you for your time, and I hope you all have a great day.